Murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nitwa.
Will you join me as a fan of Arsenal?
Unfortunately, no.
Bad news. You are what?
Manchester United.
Okay, like one of my sons is, yeah.
Murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nitwa Scovia Mutesi, n'umwanditsi w'ikinyamakuru Mama urwa Gasabo. Mfite ibibazo bibiri. Abarimu uyu munsi barashima ko bongerewe umushahara nyuma y'igihe kinini, ariko muri iki cyiciro n'abandi bakozi batandukanye ba leta harimo abakora mu bijyanye n'ubutabera, abacamanza, abanditsi n'ubushinjacyaha. Uyu munsi nabo bavuga ko bagowe no kuba umushahara ukiri muto. Abaganga nabo bahembwa make, ariko hakaba harimo n'abadahemberwa diplome bafite. Nyakubahwa rero baravuga ko ari we bahanze amaso nk'uko n'abarimu uyu munsi bishimira ko bongejwe umushahara. Murakoze.
Yeah. Ubundi ntabwo ari ukuri kose, kuko abo bandi nabo hari igihe actually twigeze kureba icyo twakora kugira ngo hagire ikiyongera ku buzima bwabo cyangwa icyo bahembwa. Harimo for example nk'abaganga, niyo umuntu ataguhaye amafaranga yongera ku mushahara, akaguha uburyo bushobora gutuma wongera icyo ushobora gutahana nyuma y'ukwezi, ni nko kuyaguha. So byarabaye mu baganga, byarabaye n'ahandi aho twagiye dushakisha uburyo icyo batahana cyangwa icyo babona cyazamuka kurusha icyo bari bafite. Ibyo rero birahari nk'ihame kuri leta gushakisha. Nanone ibintu ntabwo byahinduka umunsi umwe, ntibihindukira hamwe byose kubera amikoro. Nanjye bavuga ni icyifuzo, ariko iyo bigeze ku kuri, ku nyakuri, usanga bitabaye nk'uko umuntu yabyifuzaga, kubera aho tuvana ntabwo haduha icyo ari cyo cyose twifuza cyangwa twasezeranije. Icyo navuga rero, ibyo uvuze nibyo. Ku barimu twaragerageje, hari amaze gukorwa, ntibizagukanye. Buriya hashobora gushira amezi 6 nabo bagatangira kuvuga bati ariko dukeneye ibi. Ntabwo bijya birangira. Ariko icyo navuga, nibura hari icyo twakoze gifite intambwe cyabateje. Mbere y'uko twongera gusubira ku barimu, ndibwira ko tuzaba twakoze ibishoboka kugira ngo n'abandi noneho no secteurs zindi bashobore kugira icyo babona, nk'abaganga, nk'abacamanza, abakora mu sector ya justice. Birashoboka. Ntabwo ariko nasezeranya ngo uyu munsi bizaba byarangiye, kuko naba mbeshya. Tureba envelope uko ingana, uko imeze, aho dukwiriye kuba dushyira, ariko turabitekereza. Icyo navuga ni uko ntabwo tubitekereza kuri bamwe gusa cyangwa tubyifuriza bamwe tutabigeza ku bandi. Nabyo rero ndibwira ko bizabageraho byanze bikunze. Tuzakora ibishoboka byose. Leta muri rusange, iyo mikorere niko imeze. Ubwo tuzakomeza dushakisha aho twavana, ahashoboka, hamwe twaba tuhagaritse wenda hafite uko hameze neza, duteze imbere ahandi.
Thank you, sir. We take the last question from Zambia.
I thought this was the last.
Sorry, it was last one.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. My name is Damasio Piri from Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation in Zambia. First and foremost, I would like to thank you, Your Excellency, that I found myself here in Rwanda. It's been my dream to come and see Rwanda.
Was your first time?
Yes, my first time, and thank you so much. My question is on the bilateral talks and agreements that you've had with your counterpart from Zambia. His Excellency, the President of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, Last year in April 2022, you signed some agreements. The question is, how far have you gone in terms of implementation of those agreements that you signed between Zambia and Rwanda? Thank you.
To begin with, we have a very good relationship with Zambia. Rwanda and Zambia relate very well, both in history, but more so now under the current government and the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. It was my pleasure to visit last time I did, and indeed a number of issues were discussed, including how we strengthen and move further our relationship in a mutually beneficial way, bringing people together and increasing economic and other useful activities between the two countries. So those agreements have been followed upon. They're in the process. People, institutions on both sides have been talking and identifying the best way to move forward and on what in terms of priorities. So what we can do is to try and accelerate that. Otherwise, I think it's on the right path. And greetings to people back home in Zambia.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time and taking over 20 questions. We wish you a good evening.
We did take 20?
We took more than 20, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
It looks as though Rwanda has had a steady rise and has not gone back for that kind of assistance. In your estimation, what can other African countries do in line with the Continental Free Trade Area, which is a concept many are working towards, to ensure that we have enough resources to help ourselves so we do not keep running to these Bretton Woods institutions? And secondly, as an Arsenal fan, knowing that Arsenal is doing well this season,
Yes,
I'm sure.
I am.
Yeah. I know that you're looking forward that they win the league. With the partnership Rwanda has with Arsenal, how has that benefited the country? And with the Visit Rwanda campaign, what kind of impact are you looking at the country benefiting if Arsenal does win the league? Thank you.
Now, the first one, really I want to be clear. We haven't succeeded in everything we have tried to do for ourselves. We succeed in some, fail in others, and keep trying. And I don't, sometimes I don't feel comfortable to say things as if it's a prescription for what others can do to remedy their problems. I want to start by saying that. And with Ghana, that we are close to, we have good cooperation, many things that we do with Ghana. And Ghana is a great country, has huge resources, human and other resources. So I'm sure, therefore, Ghana is capable of, based on these two, is able to do many things for itself, and maybe some input from outside, like we all need support from different global institutions or partnerships with the countries or so on and so forth. But all along, not taking things for granted that yes, we can do this and that by ourselves, just an input here and so on from others. That's exactly the point when we created the CFTA. It was to aggregate our capacities, our possibilities, our potential on the African continent, so that really proportionately people benefit, depending on what they have, on their size, on so many things. And there are things that are more or less simple and straightforward to make it, to do a CFTA work and help us. And that we start with simple things like connection with each other, countries that have signed up to it, communication, freedom of movement, of people, goods, and trading with each other, and increase it. We have repeated so many times, we see the rest of the world, the different continents, these regional trade levels are much higher. You go to Asia, you go to Europe, in Africa, and this costs us a lot. Absolutely, it directly feeds into how and what a low base we are at in many of these things. So these, operationalizing CFTA is huge, and every country has a role to play, has something to do, and fortunately the Secretariat, the headquarters are in Ghana, the capacities there. So we need to make it work for us, and we connect with each other. So I think if more of that was done, then we should be seeing our countries needing less of begging and asking people to help out, bail us out, and so on and so forth. There's no question about it. So we need to do more of that and stop being dependent on. So I maybe just stop at that. For Arsenal, we have had a very good partnership. It gets better every time. In fact, our people responsible for these investments calculate and see, they can easily tell how many people got to know about Rwanda because of this, how many, based on that, actually came to Rwanda, how many, based on that, actually invested in Rwanda. It surpasses by far what we invested in this partnership ourselves. Invested something in the partnership and getting more by a big factor. We get more from that. Of course, again, cynically, these prejudices we are talking about earlier, some people are saying, no. Even some people who you would think really, and most of these people who behave like this, it's not because they don't know or they lack anything or they don't have the intellectual ability to, no. It's these biases, these prejudices that operation. So they say, no, Rwanda is wasting money. Who told you? I'm the one who knows what we put in, I know what we are getting out, but you want to tell a story for me. and you want people to believe you more than they can believe me. So, of course, the better we meaning Arsenal, The better we do, we perform towards getting the ultimate prize, it brings more dividends. Absolutely. So imagine in next, towards this season, if we become the champions, I'll be rushing to the bank to collect some money. So yeah, that's how it works. We have the same arrangement, by the way, with PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, and well, there are variations, but more or less the same principle. And we are having another one coming up with another famous football team. So when you see us going one after another, after one and another, you know, we know what we are pursuing. It's not to lose money. Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take a question from Scovia.